Yeah. There we go. Alrighty, so I'm recording this and throwing it up on YouTube, so if you can't scribble fast enough, you can go back and rewind and rewind and rewind and watch that. I also have some handouts at the end, so there'll be a guide for step-by-step how to zero out your inbox when you leave here. So in one ear out the other, you'll still have something to work with. It has my contact information on there. So that being said, I kind of want to, it's the basic principle of how to zero out your inbox is not particularly difficult. It's just a lot of little things that go into it that make you more effective or less effective. And the basic idea is that every email that comes into your inbox has information that is better put elsewhere. And so when you get emails in, you process them and put that information in the right spots. And you just keep doing that until you get down to zero. Basic principle, but there's a lot that goes into it. So when I say that everything has a place, what I mean is that you get someone emails you something like a project of some sort, that should go on your to-do list. You know, if it's someone saying, hey, do you want to meet up for lunch tomorrow? That goes on your calendar. Someone says, FYI, you know, make sure you know about this or you do that. That can go into a reminder system of some sort, might go on your calendar, might go in a folder somewhere. So everything has a better place to go for doing things. A lot of times if you need to follow up with someone, you can have a follow-up list or a waiting for list. And I'll show you kind of an example of that. So, you know, if I'm waiting for, Mike over here to get back to me on something, I might put that on my list, hey, make sure to nudge him in a couple of days if he doesn't. And so then I know all of these little nudges I have to make to do that. So one of the things is that when I say to-do list, you can have little to-do lists that you write out every single day, and you spend time writing and rewriting and rewriting and rewriting and hopefully not forgetting anything. But there's some really cool digital tools that you can do that I think are way more effective. And I personally like Trello. I'm going to show you this example here in a minute. But there's another couple options out there. You can Google them. Asana, Don't Forget the Milk, Wunderlist, Habit RPG, which is like an RPG version of a to-do list. It's kind of cool. To-do-ist and way more. For a lot of the digital things out there, what I like about them is that they should be affordable, super easy to use, easy to maintain, support collaboration, because a lot of the new ones nowadays you can collaborate with people on. And that's, I think, going to just get better and better as more people use them. You can have robust filters, so you're only looking at the to-do lists that matter for the situation that you're in right now. And have search, have reminders, be flexible. So an example of this is called Trello. And this is a system I really like. And so, let me turn my screen on. Thank you. You guys can follow along with me too. Alrighty, here we go. All right, so Trello, it's free for everyone all the time, forever. It's super handy. It has literally transformed how I personally run my life, and we have it for our business and has made us way more effective. Super handy. Do you have a handout? Yeah, I do have a handout. I'm going to hold on to this until the end, and we'll go over it. It is on the handout, yes. So. And I do have my speaking notes. There's a link to my speaking notes on the handout, so you can actually review word for word, sort of, what I talk about today. So, definitely. So, on each board, you have lists. So you can have basic, intermediate, advanced. Let's just say GWDC is awesome, right there, and we'll add things like letting me speak, things like that. So you can add cards. Now each card on the list has a crazy amount of things you can do with it, which is super handy. So you have a title, you have a description, so you can write whatever you want here for it. You can have different labels for things you want to do. So I can have my yellow, blue label right there, orange, whatever you want. Do some different things with that. You can have certain due dates on it, and the due dates change color based on what you want to do. So let's just say I want it for later today at noon, it's going to be yellow. Or maybe I want to change that to next Tuesday. It's not going to be in my face anymore. You can vote on different things. You can have checklists. And let's show WDC Trello. Done. And I'm going to hide my completed items. You have comments with different people commenting on it. You can have attached files to things, put pictures on them, move them all over the place. You can archive them so that they're not in your face, but you can always find them later. You can have any number of members on these teams as you want. So we use it at Family Piano Co. to keep collaborating all day long. So super, super handy. Like I said, free forever, all the time. And this allows you to do a lot of the things that I do for my personal productivity system. So this is one that I highly recommend. That being said, I will give you a glance behind the curtain here for kind of my personal one. So we'll spend a minute here. So I have a reach out to column of different people I need to reach out to for different reasons. I divide my to-do list into external items, marketing stuff out in the world to make sure I reach out and bring people into Family Piano, and then internal items of internal improvements that we do around the store, because it's so easy to focus on making sure my desk is clean and making sure other people are doing their job around the store, that I want to make sure I have a balance of stuff that affects not just us but outside. Routine sales items, I have a waiting for list of people that I'm waiting for things on. This one, someone responded to, I'm done with that. All projects, someday maybe list of all my crazy ideas that I want and might get to at some point. Reference of just different tidbits that I don't know where to put them, so I just put them in a reference list so I can reference them later. So there's some different ways you can organize it. It's super, super flexible. It's so flexible that it can get a little disorganized, so the trick is you want to make sure you have your own rules for how you manage it yourself. So you're not reinventing the wheel all the time. You know that things are going to consistently go where they need to go. So have your own rules for that. So a little bit of a tangent there, but I did want to spend a minute on one of my favoriteest things in the world, which is Trello. So this is where a lot of my stuff for my email ends up. So it's organized in the right place, and I can process things effectively. Another thing that you can do is go to Google Calendar and put your email information into Google. Now, I'm going to put all of my calendars on at once, and then I will kind of show you why you do not necessarily want all of your stuff going on at once. So this is literally, if I had all my calendar stuff on at once, would drive you crazy. So what I recommend is you can actually separate your calendar items so that you don't have everything going on at once. And I have my mom's calendar, my wife's calendar, calendars for all of our technicians on at once, so I can see what everyone's doing, and I have different views. So you can toggle them on and off. If you have any sort of Gmail account, you already have any Google account, you already have a Google Calendar account. It's one of my favorites. It plays nicely with pretty much everything out there. So it's super handy. We use it to run our business. So put stuff from your inbox onto your calendar. And then with archiving stuff, I tend to have a digital, ideally, you want to be able to put pieces of paper and organize them into file folders sometimes. And that file folder structure ideally should mirror the file folder structure on your computer. So you have kind of a consistent way of organizing information. I'm not that good yet, but it is, while mentioning good habits. There we go. We'll organize it like that. So this is all stuff that I've stolen pretty much verbatim from Getting Things Done by David Allen. It's a book I highly recommend. It's a resource on the handout. But Getting Things Done by David Allen, super, super handy. It's like the Bible of personal organization, in my opinion, in that there's so much information you will probably never strive to absolute perfection, but you can, like I said, strive towards that. Now I want to dive into the heart of the discussion here about using Gmail effectively. And I say Gmail because there's a lot of things about Gmail that make zeroing out your inbox more effective. And if you don't currently use Gmail, you probably can. Pretty much every system out there can play nicely with Gmail. If you do want to import your and use Gmail, you can set up a free Gmail account, go to settings, accounts imports, and this is where you can make the magic happen. You can import all of the mail that's currently in your inbox into Gmail. all of your contacts into Gmail. You can then make sure you get all incoming email into Gmail, and then you can make sure you can send mail out that looks like your old account. So I use Gmail all day, every day, but everything goes as brendan@familypianoco.com. So you can make it look like your corporate account. And if you really want to, you can use Google Apps and pay Google money to have a more robust thing, but I think that you can just use this, no problem. So there are guides out there. I'm not going to spend 20 minutes just showing you how to set it up. But there are some links in here, and you can do some Googling on how to sync it up with Gmail. That being said, a couple of the points about organizing things. One, I don't believe in ever deleting emails. I have been using it for 7, 9, crazy number of years. And I have, let me see if I can find it. I don't think it, oh, here we go. 8.34 gigabytes I use, because I send a lot of big files and receive them. 55% of my inbox. And I've been abusing Gmail as hard as I can for years and years and years and years and years. You will never fill up Gmail, no matter how hard you try. I pretty much guarantee it. And if you do want to empty it out, you can. It's not too hard, but there's no reason to.
Yeah, Brendan, do you ever use Google Vault?
I haven't used Vault, no.
Okay, we just migrated to that, last month.
Okay, I'll have to look into that. That sounds good. I like that.
What's Google Vault?
Oh, Google Vault allows you to delete everything off of your page, but it all goes into an archive system. So in an enterprise situation, everybody's email in the enterprise goes into the vault, and so you don't have to have it all in your email. It's all one central repository for your enterprise's email, and it's all complicated to search. It's a real pain in the neck, but then you can have all of your 20 people in one spot with all the email.
That would be good. I'm going to look in.
Google Apps, though.
Okay, yeah, I might. We'll have to do something like that. Yeah.
Have you stored photos? That would take a lot of your space.
Oh, this has a huge number of photos. I get. I'll get to that in a minute. Yeah. So a couple things about don't delete archive. A couple reasons why is one, you can always find what you want. You can just search, and there's a huge number of search criteria you can use to find things. The search is pretty effective. From to subject line has words, certain date, attachment size, all sorts of things. All mail, certain labels. The search is very, very good. So you can always find it again. Personally, I don't want to think every time I process an email, do I delete it? Do I archive it? Blah, blah. No, just archive it all. It's fine. You never know when you're going to need to find something again. It's just handy. Before I forget, always make sure you also zero out your drafts box. This is also a little easier here. If you haven't sent certain emails, you probably should. So make sure your drafts box is empty, so that's not a loose thread right there. Another couple things that are handy in Gmail is they have these different tabs. So you have primary, which is stuff that if I said, send Mike an email, it's probably going to go to primary. You shouldn't be shoving it elsewhere. Things from social media end up here. Now, what I can do is I can say, I don't care about these. I'm going to hit this select all box and then hit archive. That took me 2 seconds to get rid of all of them. Same sort of thing with promotions. I get certain promotional emails. I can scan all of these, and for example, there's a Vistaprint email right there. I might do a Vistaprint order soon, use some of those discounts, but I'm not going to worry about it right now, and then I can search for it later. So this is literally what I received since last night, and I'm not going to worry about it. I'm just going to hit select all, archive, boom, 40 conversations archived. I mean, that's literally how quick you can do it. So one of the things you can do is, if you want to set this up, you can go to this setting, go to configure inbox, and then you can have updates, forum, posts. I don't think you need 5 different categories. I think 3 works just fine. All of the email still shows up in your inbox, but yes?
Can you segregate those by category?
Yeah, so what you can do is you can train it. So for example, this Credit Karma email, clear slide. This is a promotional email I don't need to really do. So I can drag this here, promotional, and then say this conversation would be promotional. Do you do this for future messages? Yes. And so now all those future emails are going to end up in promotions instead of my primary inbox. So you can train it, And if you receive certain emails from like the Greater Waukegan Development Coalition, you might not want it ended up in this morass over here. You might want it in your primary inbox. So you can train it to do that too. So Google will pick up these sort of things. So these are really handy for just getting rid of the bulk of crap pretty quickly.
Quick question.
Yeah.
So I use the mail client for Apple,
Yes.
but my company account is through Gmail.
Okay. Yeah.
Can I do all this with that mail client also?
I don't believe that Apple has it set up that way. This is more of an interface thing, because obviously the email client will receive all your emails. This is a way of displaying them.
Got it.
So, correct.
So even in Outlook, any other client it will not work, Outlook?
I don't believe any of the other clients use this particular format. This is one handy thing for Gmail, but you don't need this. It just speeds things up for me.
You have to go to,
You would have to go to gmail.com and do it through this interface. Yes, you would have to do it that way, correct. Yeah.
So if I link my Yahoo account into Gmail,
Yeah,
will I be able to do all this
Yes.
functionality within Gmail?
correct.
Okay,
Mhm.
that's the
Yep.
question.
Yeah, go ahead.
All my mail on this event on GWDC goes primary except today's meeting. I didn't see how I could reserve,
Okay.
register. And then I went and looked at everything else and was over there in promotions.
Sometimes
So
they
how do you
are.
get split up like that from the same source?
Sometimes it will. Google's algorithms sometimes get too clever for themselves and will not be 100% consistent. So that is one of the dangers of this. And if you want to not use these boxes at all, you can just go to the configure inbox and have everything go to primary. But I do think it's a useful tool. And it allows me to be the person who lowers all of your email newsletter open list rate. I open very few emails. I archive most of them without even looking at them. But speaking of newsletter things, other thing that for just good habits, make sure you unsubscribe to things you don't want anymore. You can just, every email service is legally required to have an opt-out option at the bottom of the email. Use them. If you're sorting everything out, go through at the bottom, unsubscribe, unsubscribe, unsubscribe. Reduce the amount that's coming in, makes it easier to sort. And it's good to do that every so often. I do it probably every 6 months of just, unsubscribing from a bunch of different things at once. A couple other features that are super handy. If you go to this gear setting, you can go to settings. The settings, general settings, has a ton of super handy stuff that allows you to display images or reply all behavior. There's a lot of little things. I encourage you to spend some time sorting this out about your preferences. Conversation view I really like on Gmail. You don't need to use that if you're more used to more of an Outlook sort of situation. You can use different star systems. You can have a picture that shows up with your emails and such. Signature, if you guys don't have a signature, that's super, super handy. I can't tell you how many times I find someone's contact information because I just look it up and assume it's in their email signature. So it's a lazy habit of mine, but it's really handy to have that, and it allows people to contact you easier. I also put on here, review us on Yelp, Google, and Angie's List. I think that's a handy little marketing thing. You can also put other little marketing things in your signature, and that goes out to everyone you work with all the time. Yeah.
So if you have different signatures on the different emails, the
You
personal
can.
one and can you
Correct.
just-
So you can set a signature per thing. So my personal account, I don't need to sell anyone anything
Yes.
for my personal. Correct. So you can have different ones for different accounts.
Okay.
And then vacation responders. One of the things that people don't often see is that you can actually go to the settings/labs, and this is where there's features that aren't default, that are pretty cool features. A couple of them that I really, really like. There's a lot of wacky ones in there. One of my favorites is undo send. So what it does is it delays sending your email for 10 seconds or however many seconds you want the default is 10. So for 10 seconds, you can go, oh crap, I forgot to shh, and you can literally hit undo and go back and edit it and then hit send again. And then it'll delay it for 10 seconds and go out. So undo send is one I really, really like. There's another one called preview pane, which if you like having some different views, you can have a vertical view and then this shows up so you can navigate it like this, or you can do the vertical horizontal split. So if you're more used to something like this, it'll show up like this. So you can have some different views if you're used to different email clients. The preview pane I really like. I really like this one. And then what else? There's one more that I really, this is another one I really like. So if you compose, you have there's a lab feature called canned responses. So what it allows you to do is I have one, it's loading right now. So a lot of times when people, I get 2 or 3 phone calls a day from people who want to sell me a piano all the time. And if I could sell 3 pianos a day, personally, I'd buy 3 pianos a day, no problem. But I can't. I have to say no a lot of times. So what I do is rather than just send them a no thanks, figure it out on your own, suckers, bah, email, what I do is I have a canned response that actually has a crazy number of resources for people. So that took me 2 seconds to have this whole email pop up like that. So you can use templates for certain responses that are very, very quick. Now, for a while there, I was just copy and pasting this out of Trello. No problem. But the canned responses, the fact that it's embedded in Gmail is kind of nice. So that's a nice lab feature there. Another program you can use that's kind of handy, and I've mentioned this at some point, is there's a program called Boomerang for Gmail. And so what this does is it allows you to kind of snooze emails. So let's just say that, the next GWDC meeting, I don't want to RSVP until the last minute for some reason. I don't know, bad example. But you can have it resend the email back to you at a certain point in time. So you can schedule emails. And so this is one way when you're getting down to the wire for trying to zero out your inbox, you can kind of cheat a little bit and get it out of your inbox, even though it's not really out of your inbox. That's handy. You can also have email tracking. So if you have an important email and you want to make sure it gets opened, you can get an email notification that someone opened your email.
Because that was the thing, with Outlook, you would always get notifications, but Google kind of did away with those, read receipts and things like that.
Yeah, so this puts that functionality back in.
This is part of the lab tools?
This is actually a separate program from a separate company, and so they have a free version that you can use a couple times a month, and then you can pay $5 a month and get unlimited usage for this. Yeah.
You don't use any email client like Outlook, you only use Gmail?
Correct. So I use pretty much everything on my computer. I also have the Gmail app on my phone that I use to kind of swipe things away and kind of cut down on the clutter, but I don't do a lot on my phone. Correct. Yeah.
But let me just make sure I understand the question. The question I think I understand is you don't use any other outlet like a Yahoo or Hotmail. All of your Gmail addresses.
I run everything through Gmail. So
you do have them, you just run everything through Gmail.
Correct.
Now, well,
Yeah.
things like your domain name,
Yeah.
pianoco.com, so if they're sending an email, and maybe you don't use that, right?
No, Brendan at familypianoco.com, everything gets forwarded to Gmail. I can send email as Brendan at familypianoco.com. I can
You
make.
can incorporate your domain names into Gmail.
Correct, yes. So the official nice way of doing it is by giving Google money and doing it the official way, or you can just forward everything in and out. And so when we have new employees, what I do is I spend 20 minutes and make sure that they can access it via Gmail, because our web client for for familypianoco.com is not very good. It's from 1997 sort of thing. It's pretty bad. So just running everything through Gmail is possible, and in my opinion,
So
preferable.
how does that look when you get that email? So I send you an email to Pianoco.
Yep.
What does that look like?
So you can sort it so that you can have multiple inboxes. So if you want to just keep Brendan at Family Piano Co. and only read those, you can have that as a folder or certain labels, or you can just create brendanfam@gmail.com and just check that inbox. There's a couple ways you can do it. I funnel everything into one giant inbox and don't really care.
But now when you send out, what does it look like?
So what you can do is in settings, you can have under the accounts and filters, there's settings where you can say, there's a default send mail as. So my default when I open up a new email and send it is brendan@familypianoco.com because I mostly use Gmail. So I won't forget and send it as a personal. I have to change it to personal if I want to. And then what it does is replying to a message, reply from the same address the message was sent to.
There you go.
So if someone sends it to BrennanAlviani@gmail.com, my personal one, I'll reply and it comes from my personal. So
So
it makes it pretty automatic.
Yeah, so whatever you receive into, even though it all funnels through Gmail, you can reply out of your Gmail, so to speak, but it comes out of your.
Yes.
other-
Yes. Most people don't know that I even have Gmail.
Yeah.
And it looks super professional the whole time.
When you import everything from your different companies, can
Yeah.
you archive it based upon the individual companies, or it's just going to the general archive?
You could set it if I had, like, say, Brendan, I have some different
You got
side projects. Yeah.
Three corporations, ABC, whatever.
Yeah, exactly. So, like, I have a side project, and Brendan at abccore.com, and I'm not using it anymore, and I don't even want to see the emails. I can have it automatically get archived. I can also have it have a label that makes it easy to archive, but I can still see them.
But will it separate it by individuals?
You can have different ways of separating it. There's a couple of different ways of doing that, definitely. So, Boomerang for scheduling stuff. So this is the company. Their pricing, like I said, free for some basic stuff. You can do it a couple times a month. I don't use it very much, so I just use free. But for $5 a month, you can get a whole bunch of extra functionality. You can schedule emails. So if you're awake at 2 o'clock in the morning and you want to make it look like you're not a crazy person and you want to send it at 8 a.m., you can schedule it for that. Or you can say, all right, I don't want to forget to follow up with Dave here for next Tuesday. I'm just going to write it now and schedule it for next Tuesday so that, I nudge him. So you can schedule it, and that's a really powerful feature too. So there's a bunch of stuff with Boomerang for Gmail. It doesn't work with Internet Explorer, so you have to use like Chrome, Firefox. I think Safari works now. So yeah.
I had a question for you on Gmail.
Yep.
You're funneling all of your Gmail, your accounts, Family Piano, and any other businesses that you
Yep.
have, into your one source, it sounds
Correct.
like, into Gmail. What are you doing for data backup of all those emails so you have an archive of them? Other than Google, if Google
Explodes, if the Death Star, has the little, rocket and the whole thing goes down, the evil empire collapses. Correct.
But what do you do for data backup
yes.
for all of those emails?
Correct.
So you can recover them in
I-
case Gmail goes down.
That would be a good thing to do.
How do you do that?
That's a good question. I don't know.
That's,
All right.
that's actually kind of
Does
a hole
Google
in your
probably
security
have
that
Yeah,
you need to
thank you.
look at.
Google have something you can buy that would you take it and put it someplace else? I imagine
And that's something to look into. I don't have an answer for that.
Okay.
So it's something I think is possible. I think it's something that's possible, but for archiving things, I'm not sure. Another couple of things about emails in general is I'm not a big believer in notifications. I check my email on a regular basis. I don't need to get little dings every time someone emails me. Like I said, I got 40 promotional emails since I went to bed last night. I don't need 40 dings while I'm trying to sleep. That's crazy. I'm gonna check.
2 o'clock anyway. So
Yeah.
it's no big deal.
Yeah, especially with the baby. So yeah. So I don't do notifications. I'm gonna check it when I check it. Don't worry about it. So if you have notifications on, I recommend turning them off.
Can you turn off your cell phone separate from the PC?
Yeah. So your phone, the app itself, you control the apps. You control the notification settings on the app level, definitely.
Can you perform these functions on the phone?
Most of them, in terms of archiving
Yes.
and doing things like that, correct. I do most of my email stuff through the web client because I like having a mouse. It's a lot easier to power through things, definitely. So that's a little bit about some of the things here that go into managing Gmail specifically, the reason why I like it. I want to talk here for a second about why try getting down to 0 emails, not 10 or 20 or 50, even if that might be a really good improvement from 1,000. And then I want to hand this out and kind of do the step-by-step on how to do this for yourself when you do that. Now, the couple reasons why I think zeroing it out and getting to exactly 0, not 1, not 10, whatever, is important, is that as you start going through and you start archiving things, there's going to be things in here that are easy to archive. You have an expired coupon from Vistaprint. archive, no problem. Totally thoughtless, no problem. But then as you start getting down to fewer and fewer emails, they get harder and harder. These are the ones you like to put off. These are the ones you should deal with, but you don't want to deal with right now. These are the ones that are really easy to postpone on. But if they weren't important, you would have archived them already. So these are important things that are hanging out in your inbox. You need to deal with them. I promise you this. So what you want to do is actually deal with the emails. And it might take you an hour per email near the end, which sucks, but deal with it. Suck it up and get those emails done.
You sound like my father, for God's sakes.
You know, I just became a father and I'm just practicing at this point of the game, so.
You're actually right though, Brendan, about getting your inbox done because things can get lost as the list gets longer.
Yeah.
And then priorities get shifted, and your inbox should be your working moments, not your
Oh,
archive.
absolutely. So my mom just crossed the 10,000 emails in her inbox line recently. So she sees it as a river that just flows, and she's gonna try catching what she can. And you know what? If it's been a couple weeks, it didn't matter anyway. So we're fine.
Downstream.
Yeah, it just goes downstream. What? Oh, right. We got a winner. All right. But you want to get these important emails done. You want to take care of them. You want to know that everything is taken care of. By definitely processing every single email that comes into your inbox, and the only way you know you're getting all of them is by actually getting it to 0, because you've gotten all of them. You know that you're on the ball with all of your customers. You know that you have not missed any deals. You know you've not dropped the ball with any sales things, with any customer relations, anything like that. You're on the ball with all your employees, so you're not holding up any of your employees on anything. You make sure that you're not missing any information. The whole point of email is to be properly informed. So yes, use some tools to sort through the crap, because there's so much crap that comes in your inbox. Sort it out, deal with that quickly. But the important emails, process. Spend time with them, take care of them. The biggest reason for me is that, like Randy said, when you're organized, you just feel zen, you feel relaxed, you're okay with the world as it stands. I cannot be cosmic enough about the bliss that comes upon you when you reach 0. It is a transcendental moment that is unlike any other. I promise you this. You will reach enlightenment the moment you hit 0. When you hit 2 emails, you're like, I'm doing pretty good. You hit 0, and the sun arises. It's a moment that if you've never experienced this, I'm just saying is, it is a wonderful moment. And that, it sounds crazy. Everyone thinks I'm crazy when I do this, but it is a moment that is really, really cool when you finally do it. I recommend, if you can do it every day, it's easier to zero it out once you've already zeroed it out. It just gets more difficult as time goes along. I try to zero my inbox out a couple times a week. I understand that I have a lot of other things to do besides keeping it completely, perfectly pristine at all times email. But a couple times a week, I go through it. Now, okay, and then we'll get to the stuff here.
What's the learning curve?
The learning curve?
Yeah.
I think,
For us, computer.
sure. I think that for most folks, you can do this in anywhere between probably a couple afternoons would probably do the trick for the vast majority of people.
That's starting off.
Yeah, so if you're starting where my mom is at 10,000 emails, in a couple afternoons you can get to 0. That's pretty much how it works. Yeah.
So you can unsubscribe to emails.
Yep.
Can you flag them as junk, and then nothing else from that company will come?
Sure. Okay, so a little bit of a warning about that. So if you flag them as spam, what that does is it tells a lot of the internet service providers that this is not a legitimate thing. It tells the newspaper company, the newsletter company that they're using, that this person is sending out Viagra ads and stuff, and it shuts down their account. It's a really big problem. Please do not hit spam on anything that is not actually promising to increase your penis size. Okay? All right? Just warning you here. Yes. You can block things. Yes. Yes. And you can I think Gmail, if you drag it to spam, it trains it to treat it as spam. And there's some other things you can do. But don't like actually hit the report spam, because reporting it as spam causes all sorts of problems. So if you were to do this, like literally 3 of you guys doing this to like Mike here would mean that he can't send email newsletters to anyone like ever again. Like it's such a problem. Please do not do that.
No.
Yeah.
Another thing you can do is you can actually take that email address and put it in a blocked area.
Right.
Yes.
Where you will not get it. It doesn't come at all.
Right.
Yeah.
I was gonna add on to what you were saying, and it's actually right on G's. What you can do is you can, if you get an ad from somewhere in Brazil, and you don't know
Yeah.
anybody in Brazil, you can block that sender.
Yeah.
The other thing that I caution people about from an IT perspective is, let's just say you get an ad for Viagra, you never subscribe to this.
Yeah.
If you hit unsubscribe on that button, you have now confirmed back to that spammer that they have a live body, which means you're gonna get populated into other spamming lists. You're better off to block the individual sender, or set in a rule somewhere along the line that if you don't want any Viagra ads, to block them so they automatically go into your junk mailbox.
Correct.
You don't want to delete
Tell them that
other
you're a
or
live person.
If you hit the unsubscribe button, now they've got a live body, they sell your email address and you get more spam. We've seen this with our clients over and over and over.
I've suspected that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
over and over and over
Yeah,
again.
definitely.
Is there a difference between spam and junk?
Correct. So when you hit spam, what it does is it tells the big internet companies that this person is sending out crazy amounts of garbage. You know, some of the auto-generated text with links to, you know, Viagra and such. So that's a very different thing than junk. Like, you know, if I get those emails from Vistaprint and I'm not using Vistaprint anymore, I might personally consider them junk, but that doesn't mean that Vistaprint's an illegitimate company trying to steal money from me. You know, so
But
junk.
my question pertains to junk. If Redbox sends me an email, and I really use Redbox.
That's
if
junk.
I say move to junk.
Correct.
Will I no longer receive emails?
I would
from
hit the
Redbox?
unsubscribe button for that, because it's a legitimate email.
Exactly.
No.
That's
Yeah.
when you do the
The unsubscribe.
unsubscribe.
No,
Yeah.
no,
Because
Not-
because if you've got an unsolicited email from Redbox, number one,
Oh.
it could be somebody spoofing as Redbox, it's actually
Correct.
a scammer.
Yeah, so if you go
If you get, let's just say you get an
Let's go to
email,
my
it looks like
spam.
it came from Redbox, let's just pick on them. If you hit unsubscribe on that and you never solicited Redbox, you have no business relationship with them, if you hit unsubscribe, you have verified that they have a viable email address now, and you will get populated into other spam lists.
Okay.
You're better off to block that sender and put it
Let's see.
on auto rule so it goes into your junk email folder. Cause then you can look at your junk just in case something went in there by mistake. Oh, okay, I've got it. If you mark it as spam, then you're going to send it out back into the world. You're better off to block.
So let's see. Like, this is my spam folder. I think there's some phishing
Yeah,
things.
exactly, good point. If you know, let's just say you've been getting emails for a long, long time from the Acme widget company, and you're like, you know what, I'm bored with these widgets. I'm no longer in the widget industry, I don't care. If you have a business relationship with those folks, then you can unsubscribe safely because you have a relationship with them. If you're getting unsolicited emails from whatever company, do not hit unsubscribe because then you verify that your address is viable and then you will be put on more lists and you will end up with a ton more spam.
What are the steps to blocking an email address? Because sometimes there's just so many, how much time do you have?
The
I'm not
exact
gonna take the Google
steps.
part. I can take in Outlook, it's just a very simple rule.
Yeah.
All you have to do is just go file and then
Go in
you
your
put it down
settings.
in your
Yeah.
settings, it'll say
Settings.
block this sender and then
Yeah,
it'll
block-
give you
Yeah,
the option.
filter.
Otherwise,
You can also do filters too.
filter.
Yeah, there's some different. There's
Pretty
yeah.
straightforward.
If you want to, I would recommend, this is probably one to just Google, and there's probably some guides out there for how to do that. That being said,
But I
yeah.
just had to ask, what do you do with mail that comes in and the software puts into a folder that says it's spam?
Sure, and so what you can do is, if in Gmail, if you move to inbox, it'll train them. Mark, if you wouldn't mind handing these out real quick, I want to go.
I want to just say one thing. We have, officially, we're getting close to 9 o'clock, so that if you have to leave, leave. Brendan, if
Yeah.
you want to stay and people want to ask questions,
Mhm.
please feel free to do that.
Yeah.
And Michael, tell us about the Tuesday speaker series.
Yeah. Okay, just hand me that. Yeah, and I think I already have one. So.
Sue Oldenburg, from Attorney CPA.
Thank you, sir. coach.
on developing key performance indicators for your businesses and how to track those for success. So anyone interested, please register. I'm sending out another notice today for the Tuesday speakers.
Don't mark it as spam.
Don't mark as
And
spam.
don't, since